Hello, and welcome to the Stacking Dingers Show. I'm your host, Matthew, aka Sheep, aka Dark Sheep. Find me online at D4RKSH33P_. This, of course, is the Stacking Dingers Show, your home for all things Underdog and DraftKings MLB Best Ball. And follow the show at Stacking Dingers, also on Patreon, not Patreon, and also on our Substack at stackingdingers.com. We have the co-host of choice, Billy Jones. I was gonna add that out, but now get your reaction.
No,
I'm not gonna.
That is what I want. What a hot start! What a week we've had, and this is just great. Yeah, let's rip it.
Yes, we're having a little bit of a relaxed show tonight. We both have had some busy weeks, so we are just going to be drafting tonight. So we're going to record this draft. If we got some downtime, we have a few listener questions that we might get to. No promises there, but yeah, let's do it. Let's just rip it. Let's see, I actually get my screen with the dinger on it. All right, so we are going to draft a dinger. All right, we should be good to go. I got 3 people that we're waiting for, so should have no problem.
Yeah, we're both going to be drafting, which is fun. So I'm not going to try to give away too much of my stuff. If we're like, just with how luck goes, we're end up going to be right next to each other, and it's going to be horrible. So we'll see.
Yeah. We were talking about this and said, oh, well, if we both draft, less time for downtime during the draft, more things to talk about. But yeah, it'll probably be right next to each other and it'll make it confusing.
Yeah. I did just upload my rankings. I had like a stale set of rankings in there. And I did just push my updated rankings. So I'm excited to do that with this like brand new cut.
Okay. People have been asking where to get the rankings, which right now we just posted that initial version in the private Discord channel, which you can get access to by subscribing and being a YouTube member. I need to say this again. If you are out there and you are pledging money on the Substack, that is not turned on. That is not coming to us, and you do not get anything access to it. It is through the YouTube memberships, which, as many people as keep doing it, we might have to just call an audible at some point and turn that on and let people go through there. But for now, please, if you want to support us, go to the YouTube memberships. We do have 3 people to shout out tonight. There are 2 tiers if you join the membership. The second one just gives you a special shout out on the show. So thank you, Mr. Mike Melcher, the Melch. He upgraded to a super stacker. We appreciate that. Guest of the show, BRDMC Brad. He joined at the super stacker level also. And Purple Yosh, you might know him as Steampunk Mario on Underdog, the NFL Eliminator champion, spreading some of that love here to us and joining at the super stacker level. So appreciate to all of you people. And it looks like we got 1 more that we need for this draft, and it's filled. I don't know if you just posted it somewhere, but
yeah, I put it in the Discord. See if we can get this with some friends.
Perfect.
Yeah, didn't want to have to edit this. I didn't want to give you an opportunity to like adjust that opening.
Right. If that's just the only thing I have to edit out, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, if you do a lot of edits, then it's in scope.
Yeah, because we are recording. We like to record a little bit earlier in the week to get. Is this going to load? There we go. All right, not too bad. You get a number 2. I got a 6, so we got some end of the line to fill, but
that's not so bad. It's not like we're going to be like directly taking each other's players. Yeah.
So I mean, 2's pretty set. 6, I think, is where it opens up. you can kind of go any direction from there. See, I've been slows only, and I got like 10 of them going right.
So, question for you. So, I mean, like, you're not going to impact me. It's Ohtani and Judge are 1 and 2, and I'll take whomever comes my way.
Yeah.
But you're at 6. So, what are your thoughts there? I mean, is Kyle Tucker now in scope with him being Dodgers and the counting stats way up? How do you feel with Corbin Carroll versus Kyle Schwarber if it's not Kyle Tucker? So, like, curious what your thoughts on that kind of position. It's an interest. You said the draft kind of opens up, or you could do Bobby Witt. So a lot of options at 6.
Yeah, I honestly don't hate any of them. I don't know that I have one that's I'm gonna say over the other. Basically, up until the Jose Ramirez, Ellie De La Cruz part of the draft, I'm kind of taking a mix of anyone. I'm not making a stand here, so. We might, just for experiment's sake, take Bobby Witt here in order to build a team for everyone that, starting with an infielder. Or we could just take Kyle Schwarber. Like you said, Kyle Tucker, probably going to moving up closer to the 6 as things go on. I don't know if he'll pass either of these guys, maybe. Yeah, for the experiment, let's take Bobby Witt Jr. here, and then we plan on hopefully we get maybe we get a Brent Rooker next, which is good. James Woods, I don't hate. I've been sort of reassessing my Washington offense take lately. Maybe we'll get to that a little bit later too about some other guys. Yeah.
Let's rip listener question number 1. Round 1. Let's get right into that. And my camera's already going away. This is great. Yeah.
All right. This is a good question for the early round here. How often should, and should in quotation marks here, because this is nothing we've studied or it's just gut feeling. How often should someone draft the easy stacking partners such as Tatis, Merrill, Manny, Machado when they take the main early guy? So when you take Tatis, how often are you wanting to stack? My answer is probably more often than you should, or I do it more often than I should. It is 4 picks on one team. So you are really putting all of your eggs into that basket, and you're getting a lot of you're giving up on a lot of guys potentially in this upper area that could just have dominant seasons.
Yeah, so I think it's like it's interesting. So I think that if you have a stack that lines up on the board like together, if they're all kind of on the back half or in the middle, then they're going to be drafted combinatorially. Like, I think more than just like random players, if they kind of fit structurally as well. So like there's part of me that thinks that is like a problem, that you don't want to get into like the same kind of standard builds that everyone does. But then also we do know that the field doesn't like stack as heavily as we've proven that data is like pretty good for that. So part of me is like, if you're gonna do the top 3 and you say that this offense crushes, like I kind of maybe want to dip into another later piece and like really build it out. If you're gonna feel like it's just like a chalk build. But that being said, like I had like the best team I've ever drafted was like a straight up like Mets premium stack.
Yeah.
And it crushed. So I really like building it.
All right. I get the guy that I wanted, Brent Rooker. I mean, I would take a Yordan Alvarez here too. Obviously, I like Rooker's safety here over James Wood, but James Wood has a season like he'll have a superstar season at some point.
Yeah, but like Rooker is such like a known high end commodity, And outfield gets so thin in the second round. It's not a place I'm attacking. So to have Rooker, oh damn it, Nick Kurtz goes there. That's a real disappointment.
All right. So right now, Skeens, Crochet are there. Cal Raleigh, Jaron Duran, Pete Alonso, Roman Anthony, PCA. All right, so you're going for, you're talking about Nick Kurtz there, the youth. So you go for the other guy, Roman Anthony. Is this is this still a fear that Jaron Duran is still going to be gone, or why are you taking Anthony over Duran?
I think that the Jaron Duran's ceiling outcome is not much higher than where he's at right now, but I think Roman Anthony is a star in the making, and so I think the upside there is that I don't know. I think that I could get maybe both of them, which is interesting too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not like I kind of mixing them up a little bit, but that's kind of what I was thinking there.
You do not get both of them.
Do not get both of them.
So here, the thoughts are: am I taking a third outfielder? Am I starting to dip into this upper tier of infielders? I know you well enough that this is not a Garrett Crochet spot.
This is not a Garrett Crochet spot.
Have to be another round away before you even consider that fall.
And this is something I've been interested into doing more of, is that there's these that you sparked this is the flat tiers. I'm kind of just accepting that I don't need to draft them in direct order. I think second and third round outfielders are really all the same. So I took Aaron Judge with two guys that are pretty solidly in the third round. You're not going to likely have a ton of that combo, and they're both young upside type players. So if one of them is the projection and the other one hits, then we're dancing. So I really like the way that this is built out so far.
All right. So for the audio people only, that is a Roman Anthony and then Wyatt Langford pick. So I had a ton of guys here. I think Randy, I'm totally comfortable with taking Randy Rosarena here. I ended up with Jackson Merrill. Seiya's good here. I don't love Riley Green here, but I take him. We're hoping Tyler Soderstrom comes back to us. It's unlikely. 9 picks away. Yeah, it's unlikely. So there was a thought there of pulling Tyler Soderstrom up with Brent Rooker. I just did not do that this time.
Question number 2. Let's go.
All right, here's another question from Willis. Oh, the first question was JKA Junior 1094 on the Twitter, which I will still call it that, of course. Willis on Twitter also says, when stacking a team, do you avoid drafting starting pitchers within their division? Example, if stacking Dodgers, don't draft NL West starting pitchers.
I've never thought of it that way. We also are going to have to pay attention to this 11 slot because that's wild.
Okay, yeah. Or infield start, yep.
Yeah, let's see how he battles back. But the not stacking against the rest of the division feels like a little too much for me. I do think that if you say there's a very specific playoff schedule that you're going to try to avoid, maybe I could understand that.
Yeah.
Or if you think an entire division is just unbelievable offensively, then I could maybe see fading a pitching staff because of the whole division, not because of what the stack you built. But yeah, no. What do you think?
No, I would not take it into consideration at all. I mean, at this point, the MLB schedule is such that, they don't even play their division that much. We almost got Soderstrom fall there. That would have been pretty nice. Let's see.
Rattled.
Yeah. So we're gonna get even further behind. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make the Jackson Merrill Manny Machado mini stack. I'm not super in love with much of the Padres after this. I think Ramon Laureano is still okay at 184, but I liked him a lot better before. There's plenty of risk in his, just playing time, health, age, all that kind of thing. But I've been a Ramon Laureano fan for a while and thought he deserved full-time playing time somewhere. And, last year he kind of showed that he did deserve it. All right, you are on the clock now. You've got 3 outfielders. There is a Brandon Nimmo there to work on. Okay, there you go. That's I read your mind there.
See if you can read the next one.
I'll be honest. I've have not seen Brandon Nimmo's name looking at anything. I don't know if you do this, you do a bunch of drafts and then you're like, oh yeah, that guy exists. I never even look at his name at any point when I'm there. For whatever reason, that guy doesn't even register as a name.
Yeah.
But he is one of those guys that just fits in the scoring system. Just puts up hits. He's got a couple stolen bases, couple home runs, decent amount of home runs. He just kind of he's a good version of an accumulator for the Underdog scoring.
So this next guy, he's not going to be there, but this is a bit of a reach.
Okay, so your first infielder, Zach Neto. Let's take a look here. You got some classics here: Trey Turner, Austin Riley. Josh Naylor's there, Bregman's there. Ben Rice is not too far away.
I have a lot of Ben Rice right now, so I'm not trying to go too excessive on that. I do think Nato's a good, he projects really well. He's got a spiky profile in terms of extra base hits. And I think that he doesn't come with the brand name that would boost him I think that you see with other players. So I like that in this format. Give me some boring names or lesser teams, but they still kind of really score.
Yeah, we're going to take another, pretty boring name. I'm going to take Jerickson Profar as my third outfielder here. Move him up. We have Buxton, O'Neill, Cruz, Lawrence Butler. I think are all have different question marks around them. Buxton, the playing time. Cruz, does he actually stink? Is he just unmotivated? That kind of stuff. And then the kind of a combination of those questions on Lawrence Butler. He started off pretty hot last year, had an injury and never really the production kind of never came back. And he did have, did he have off-season surgery? I forget. They talked about it.
I think Profar is a pretty important pick if you're going to build like this, because you're going to get a guy in round 5 who 2 years ago was an awesome performer and is projected to be at the top of the lineup that also has a high-end outcome associated with it, and their star is back and looks healthy. And so I think he's a great pick.
Yeah, I don't know that he is locked into the leadoff position. I think that's a lineup that could be pretty flexible depending on who's actually hot. I mean, Acuna might lead off also, but depending on we got Michael Harris still there. I guess Ozzy Albies kind of out of his leadoff days, but so maybe it's not as optional as I thought, but yeah, Profar there. I did queue up some Atlanta guys here. Then
after you make this pick, we'll have to show the board again. This 11 slot is doing some interesting stuff.
All right, yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm going to take Michael Harris over Lawrence Butler here. I think still both stacks have some decent later infield options. I almost just clicked Lawrence Butler instead. There you go. Michael Harris. Okay, so after taking Bobby Witt Jr., we take 4 outfielders out of our next few picks. Okay. Before we get to you, let's go. Pokey Vet here has started 4 infielders: Jose Ramirez, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Junior Caminero, and Freddie Freeman. And then he goes 2 pitchers: Hunter Brown, Cole Reagans, and that is 6 rounds without an outfielder. Do not recommend that strategy.
And look at number 5, the 5 hole. Did Corbin Carroll start?
Yeah, okay, you're on the clock, and we'll take a look at that start next.
Easy.
So I don't believe you will be dipping into pitchers at this point.
You believe wrong.
I believe wrong. All right. Billy taking a pitcher before the 10th round.
It happens. But this is historically been like a great pocket for pitching. It's guys that traditional fantasy baseball don't like because they have real downside or whip's a problem or whatever. But in underdog format they crush. Dylan Cease is like a kind of guy who has like this super ceiling, individual start and then the entire season. So I'm going to be leaning into this like type of pitcher. Like it's perfect for that.
Yep. While you consider your next one, the 5th start, the team that you pointed out: Corbin Carroll, Tariq Skubal, Cal Raleigh, Ketel Marte, Yamamoto, and Gilbert. So they are going with an early pitcher strategy with 1 outfielder, 2 infielders. So this we have 2 people in this draft doing these strategies. Kind of helps if you start with an infielder early. It kind of leaves some outfielders hanging around that aren't always expected to be there. All right, so you take Freddie Peralta there. No downside to Freddie Peralta, really. So I guess.
What do you mean? Is that a joke?
You were talking about how some of the traditional roto stuff. There's not really that problem with Freddie Peralta anymore. Maybe a slight whip.
But he fits this format really pretty well. Like,
oh yeah,
176 innings last year, 200 Ks. So ability in an individual game or to strike people out if he can go longer. I mean, he hasn't really run up like big inning totals, which I guess might be a little annoying for this, but I think he's great number 2.
Yeah. All right. I am going to push off pitcher still and take a Vinny P here to go with my Bobby W.
I just want to say I'm proud right now. Like I feel like some of this like 0 pitcher stuff was not your way of pitching, but their way of drafting historically. But now you're like all in on it. I love it.
I wouldn't say I'm all in on it. I just have liked the start.
Fair.
I would have taken, Wu or Peralta if they had come to me. But yeah, the Freddie Peralta did obviously get traded from the Brewers, which is the life of being a Brewers fan. I've become accustomed to it. It stinks, but I think considering the return that I think they did pretty well. I don't know specifically those two individual players. I'm not, the prospect guy, but looking into them, they both look like they're about to be ready for the majors. They're both top 100 prospects on between Baseball America and MLB.com. So if you can trade 1 year of a guy for two guys that are about to be impact players potentially, I think it's worth it. And that's just, that is how the Brewers have remained relevant just by doing that simple thing. You get guys, a star's got a year left. Well, we're going to save a few $1 million and we're just going to restock a few guys.
They're like truly playing like a dynasty game of like being constantly good rather than like pushing the chips in. So I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's do a listener question.
Could they do that while spending more? Also, yes, but they choose not to. All right, let's pull them up. Another. Let's see. Best team finals playoff schedules for hitters and pitchers from SSJ Goose, Super Saiyan Goose, who is the number one Mets fan out there in Underdog MLB drafting. He is known for his Mets stacks, so he should like Freddie Peralta there. But I think we've talked about this before. We don't really buy into planning for schedules too much. There's too much that happens between now and the playoffs, and who knows where a team's going to be at or a player's going to be at, or who knows what's going to happen by the time we get there. So maybe looking at the amount of games might be something interesting, but even then I don't think either of us are really think it's that big of an advantage. I'm on the clock while you give your answer to that. I think I probably answered it your thought, but
I agree with you. I think there's like a couple parks that could make an argument to go try to target playing at Coors, playing at Great American Ballpark, but it's not like baseball like that, or not. It's not like football like that, where you have like this very like clear week 17. You draft towards it, but yeah.
All right, so I went Blake Snell as my first pitcher. I think if you're going to wait this long and you take Blake Snell here and just tell yourself that he's got another Cy Young season of full health, he's not going to get you your 2 starts. Likely isn't going to get a lot of 2-start weeks, but he's the sort of pitcher that can score well on just 1 start. And it's been a few years since we've seen it, but we've seen it a couple of times. He'll just pop a season where he has a ton of starts and he's just excellent. So I don't mind doing that. Joe Ryan would be the other consideration there. No problem starting a staff with Joe Ryan too.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I got my guy this year.
Yeah.
Jacob Marcy. I think it's more of like I don't think he's going to be like a first round pick kind of guy, but I like the idea of having some good volume there. Really intrigued if like what spring training looks like for him in a role. If I could back off it a little bit, but I don't know. Currently, I'm pretty excited about drafting him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he's batting in the order in spring training, if he's leading off like we hope, or we kind of need at this cost.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so you've got 5 outfielders, 2 pitchers, and 1 infielder. Likely Okay, Kyle Bradish here. Perfectly good pick. You know, we here are big Kyle Bradish fans. Which you know, I'm gonna call out this person that left a comment on the few videos ago. He was upset that we recommended. Oh man, Jack Caglione is gone. Okay. Let's get a little boring and add Sonny Gray as the SP2. But yeah, this person did not appreciate the fact that we recommended that they watch a previous episode to learn about our thoughts on Kyle Bradish. So here's our thoughts.
Hold up, I will say it wasn't even our thoughts that we were telling him to go watch. We're go watch this pitching expert that we brought on, who has like a 50,000 person following, and like major Tariq Skubal follows him, like because he wants his own stats from this guy. So like I just want to pause like real quick.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. You might want to go hear what this person has to say in detail. I mean, it's good. I'll tell you that much. He's and especially the title of the episode is hidden gems or you know, pitching gems. You know, he's probably not going to present a pitcher that he doesn't like. I mean, that one I even had that one has the timeline where you can just click right to the player that he was talking about. So yeah, pretty funny.
That guy, whoever the commenter was, also he's just kind of was in his troll mode. It's like, because that's where we're going over our rankings, and he's like, "Well, I'll never use Sheep's rankings." And I'm just dying laughing over here because like I would never have thought that we were going to get trolls. Like, who are we? How we have a big enough following for that? That's wild.
I don't know. Him and Uncle Steve.
Uncle Tony, right?
I don't know. I'm just not going to give him the benefit of saying his actual name. All right. Out here, our interesting picker at the 11th spot. First outfielder, Kyle Stowers, and an Adolis Garcia for 2, and then goes back to Yandy Diaz. So this is going to be an interesting outfield group. Or maybe they're going to go 8. I don't know. Let's see where they go. I do think if you're high on Kyle Stowers, getting him here, thinking he could put up a big season is certainly not out of the realm of possibilities. I'm a little bit skeptical myself, but seeing the breakout last year, you know, he could be, it's possible he should be being drafted even earlier than he is.
Yeah, he's a pretty good price as your outfield 1. I think that's a little preposterous, but we'll see how it goes. I mean,
yeah, we're gonna add Shea Langoliers here. Obviously, he was a big target of mine last year, and did pretty well for me. So it is sticker shock buying Shea Langoliers here, but put him with a mini stack with Brent Rooker. Maybe we add a accumulator like Jacob Wilson later to make it a 3-man. I do not dislike that, because I think we unfairly put Jacob Wilson as a guy with no power last year, and turns out when you're playing in Sacramento, maybe your power is going to get boosted a little bit playing in that stadium, and then just playing around all those other guys is going to help your counting stats.
Yeah, it's just like when you're playing in like a high school baseball park, all you have to do is put the barrel on the ball and you have a chance of hitting it out. Okay, I am up now. I'm gonna wrap up outfield.
Okay, you're gonna take your 6th outfielder here.
Do you think it's Dylan Cruz or Trent Grisham? I like both of them. Dylan Cruz would be the slide. I'll do that. No, panic. Trent Grisham, we'll stack it up.
Okay. I think, and maybe this is going to give away a pick later. I think Dalen Lyle could just outscore Dylan Cruz this year. Just digging into those guys and what they did, and kind of the profiles. I think I'm more excited about Dalen Lyle. That this is just today thing. I was waiting to get this going. I was doing some research, and those were some guys I wanted to look into. So I will queue him up here. Right now, he's a guy I want to get more of. I think he might kind of secretly be a better pick than Dylan Cruz at no matter the cost. So,
nice, I like it. I'm going to keep deferring infield. This might be. This is not going to be an 8 infield build, but definitely 776. It could be a 686.
Cease, Peralta, Lopez, Pablo Lopez start. I mean, I could see going 6 pitchers here.
Yeah, I think that there's plenty of quality here. Pablo Lopez last year was being drafted in the range where Cease and Peralta were. Bradish could easily be way up there as well. So I like the juice on these kind of pitching staff. I've been landing in pitching like this. Mm-hmm. It's kind of more than I had done historically. But it's kind of coming at the cost of at infield right now, and I just need it's and that's kind of the push pull for me right now is, do I have at this point in the draft, do I have more pitching or more infield? Because I'm almost always making sure I have this level of outfield, whether that's 5 or 6 at this point.
All right. Yeah, I'm actually going to do a little bit differently here. I am going to take a 5th outfielder or infielder here with Matt Chapman falling 10 picks. As you just mentioned, this is kind of a place that I'm also missing out on infielders. I have some Pena and Horner. I haven't been clicking Murakami at this price. And I am getting a lot of pitchers here. So also that includes missing out on Matt Chapman. So we will go with that and see what we can do with it. This might be a 6 infielder type build.
I would think so. 6, 7. And just, Shea Langmuir's a catcher. But I think so maybe there's some volume concerns or ceiling with him, but like the rest of the guys are every day running out there, get a ton of at bats. So
yeah, the biggest fear is Langmuir's, technically the catcher. So
yep.
You're just hoping for the big bomb weeks out of him. All right, let's hit another question here. Pokevet still only has 2 outfielders, adding a pitcher here in Chase Burns. So this would be interesting to keep track of. But here's a question. Is stacking pitchers bad? And what would be good and bad example of stacking pitchers? I don't think that I'm in the camp of that it's bad at all. I don't know that it gives you as much 2 start weeks as you hope, or increased 2 start weeks. I think someone, I think it was Easy, had run the numbers that the likelihood of having 2 pitchers from the same team was a pretty small increase in the chance of getting a 2 start week if you have 2. Like there wasn't really a ton of correlation between it.
Where I see stacking pitchers makes the most sense. Well, having like up to like if you stacked 5 hypothetically and just try to stack the whole staff, you're almost guaranteeing that you're going to have a good portion of them not have a 2 start week. So you don't want that. But I'm going to counter that. Stack like 3 guys from the same staff, and the team has 110 wins. You're racking up a large chunk of those and those 3 guys, and you're probably going to have all these. It's just like the whole thing kind of comes together. So I could see it working if it's like teams that you expect to be really, really good and good parks, and like it kind of just all fits. But it's not like I got one guy, so let me get the others, so that I hope that the narrative comes together that the whatever team the Rockies are now good. Like that's not it.
Yeah. I'm going to take Jung-Hoo Lee to go with my previous Matt Chapman pick. I always take Jung-Hoo Lee. That's what I do. Yeah, I think you said it exactly there. Good teams. That's where you want to take multiple pitchers. Like you don't want to take, I don't know, St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, you don't want to take any of their pitchers. But like at the end, let's take 4 St. Louis guys. No, but we want good teams. We want good home pitching parks. So Seattle being the kind of the poster child for a good pitching stack, and then definitely taking 3 guys there, they could put up a bunch of wins too. But yeah, good parks, good teams. That's kind of the simple answer.
So I know you said you're out of Murakami at his current ADP. I don't mind him when I get him slightly past ADP, especially in this build where I'm going to get definitely getting to 7 infielders, so he can accept some bad with him. So and if I'm kind of throwing a lot more later darts, then he's got some upside.
Yeah. I still have 2 pitchers, so I might have to start looking at pitchers. Here, Jacob Wilson went. Trevor Story, Jacob Wilson. Interesting little combo there. All right. And then you take another Murakami type, Hunter Goodman, a guy who has had some issues making contact, but hits the snot out of the ball. Crud. Dalen Lyle gets taken from me. That was the plan.
Do you like either of those 2 outfielders at the top of the board? Curious.
I do. Let's keep pitcher going. Let's keep punting pitcher. Let's take TJ Friedel. I'm drafting a lot of TJ Friedel this year, and I don't know how to feel about that. And getting him 15 picks after ADP. And then I'm putting him with Spencer Steer a lot. I mean, I don't feel good about either of these things, but I think it just makes sense where they're going that to take them. And I am taking some Bretton Doyle at this price too. I'm not necessarily pairing him with anything else, but we saw it 2 years ago that he can be an impact guy, and I'm not just going to write him off, especially, as a Coors player.
Yeah, exactly. Last year was not like a great year for him, but not it. And because of the cost, it was really gross. But
right.
Just the true production for where he's at right now is not so bad. Friedel's a name that I wanted to get your thoughts on, because you said there's players that you're just blind to. Talk about players I'm blind to is outfielders at this point and later. Because I've made it a priority to get it done early. So like I was just completely blind to him and some other names in this range. But when I've looked at him a little bit more, it's like looks like he's gonna get some good volume. He has a little bit of thump. The Reds are just playing like one of the best parks in baseball, and they have some interesting late options. Whether it's kind of like safer Spencer Steer or more exciting fun Sal Stewart. So that it's just I kind of like it a lot. Yeah.
Noelvi Marte.
Yep.
Yeah. There's
McLean.
Yeah. That is another reason why I'm taking him, is because he sets up later stacks fairly well. I do want to. You can snipe me if you want him, but Sal Stewart is a guy shout out to Paul in the the latest article up on stackingdingers.com. Called him out as a 20th round, and he was a guy that I was overlooking and digging into him. This is I say these things, some of these things over and over, but I'll say this again here. When the Bat X has a young player at above average in WRC plus, that's someone you want to draft. That never happens. A rookie with he's got 110 WRC plus. That's a target that I always want to go after. Is known Bat X enjoyer, and when it comes to this profile at age, very rarely does it spit out a guy of this that caliber, that young. Jackson Merrill being a guy that kind of fit that profile a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we probably need a pitcher here, don't we?
At some point, you got to do it.
All right. So looking at the names, Amai just went. That was probably where I was going to go. Although, Bybee is just fine here. Did not have the season we wanted out of him last year. I do like Ranger Suarez, or Ranher Suarez, as he clarified in his signing press conference. Let's do that. I like Ranher Suarez better. I'm probably now also mispronouncing his last name poorly.
It's like you nailed the first name, you swing and miss on the last name.
Well, I'm sure. No, I'm just saying it probably has a different emphasis than my American tongue wants to spit out.
Fair.
But yeah, this is this. Looking at these pictures here is kind of why we were talking about the middle pitchers that we like. Is I kind of like the middle pitchers, or the early middle pitchers, and then I like the late pitchers here. This group, it's not really doing much for me.
It's not exciting at all.
Yeah, okay. So you took Ezekiel Tovar.
Yeah.
Is that paired with Hunter Goodman?
Yeah. Trying to think about where do I go. Do I dip into this pitching? We were just talking about how I don't love it. But I will.
All right, so you go with Shane Baz.
Mm-hmm.
Anything special about him, or just the one that stood out the most there?
Kind of just trying to mix it up in this range, as well as like I don't hate that. I don't hate when a team goes out and makes a trade for a guy that they expect to dump right in the lineup.
Yeah.
And that's what the Orioles went and did.
Yeah.
So
it means they have a plan.
Yes.
For him.
And like at this point in the draft, I mean, all these pitchers they have a plan for, but he's a younger guy, so like I don't know, I kind of like him.
All right, I have no problem taking Zach Gallen here. I kind of said that I don't like the names there, but this price on Zach Gallen seems like he can pay it off. You don't need much out of him, just a healthy year, and he's just going to generate, I think, enough value here.
We know, we know just in general, free agents will rise when they sign. You think that's going to be like the same case with like a Gallen and a Framber?
Framber, I think where he's going, I don't know how much he'll rise. If he's like on the Yankees, maybe Orioles, kind of, one of these good teams, I think he'll rise. I don't know why he would go to a bad team, but yeah, I think he'll rise. But Zach Gallen, I think, will rise more. I think once people see that he's going to be a number 2 or number 3 somewhere, no matter where he lands, I think he'll take off. Now, this part of the outfielder, again, TJ. I think one of the reasons I'm landing on a lot of TJ Friedel and Brenton Doyle is because after that, this next group is I'm not in love with. They are disgusting. In fact, I will take some Willie Abreu. I think he, all signs indicate last year that he was able to hit left-handed pitching better than previous. So he'll have a chance to keep up, at least to start the season, hitting more against lefties. And he has a little bit of pop that if he's in there, he can take advantage of it. But, I've said it, I've talked about it a little bit in some places. Sal Frelick, I think last year was a huge, he benefited a lot from the other outfielder injuries. Blake Perkins and Garrett Mitchell, I think that contributed to Sal Frelick getting a bunch of volume that probably wouldn't have come about. And then he kind of hit above his weight once he got that volume. So I think there's some regression in the bat and a regression in playing time for him. So pretty out on him this year. And Nick Castellanos, whenever we figure out where he's going, he might rise too, but he's still a Philly for some reason. The reason is they can't find anybody to pay for his salary. So
they don't want him. He doesn't want to be there, but other people don't want him either.
Exactly. A kind of lose-lose situation right now. All right. Let's see. Let's keep rolling some pitchers here. Boy. I'm gonna grab Shane Smith. I don't think anything special about Shane Smith, but he should just start a lot for the White Sox. Like we're not going to get many wins out of him, but I think we're going to get 30 starts out of him. There's no reason to hold him back at this point. It's not like he's going to be where the White Sox are at. Like they kind of have to go through another rebuild before, I don't know who they trade for that rebuild. I mean, they just did obviously trade Luis Robert, but I don't know. Just seems like a guy that they're going to pitch, and he's fine. He's projected for not a great ERA. He's projected to do worse than he did, and his xERA and xFIP kind of indicate that from last year too. But he has some strikeouts, I guess. I don't know. I'm mostly just trying to convince myself that was an okay pick. It sounds like.
So let's do a quick check-in. I think we both have the same structure at this point. Let me make this pick.
Yes, we are both at 5.56 in the 17th round, which, based on the path that we've got here, we're going to result in some different looking teams at the end. But we did meet up here in the middle. You took Brandon Lau, and a Kyle Manzardo for your infield. All right, let's grab another pitcher. Let's see. This seems pretty easy for me. I'll wait for JM Soccer Star here to finish their pick, and hopefully we just add Merrill Kelly. Just put some more boring.
Just innings.
Just put some boring innings on the staff. Arizona staff is depleted, to say the least, and not very good. So they're re-signing Merrill Kelly. He wants to be there because they're just going to play him. I don't know. Do you know off the top of the hand what they signed him for? How 2 years contract, but can definitely see him being traded also again to a better team. All right, let's check in with our friend Pokey Vet here. So in their outfield, they now have Kyle Stowers, Adolis Garcia, Kerry Carpenter, Nick Castellanos, and Chase DeLauder. So they added 2 guys. I feel like we're being a little bit mean, but just we're highlighting this so you don't do this. Not trying to be mean. Hopefully, PokeVet's a listener and doesn't take this the wrong way. But took 2 guys in Adolis Garcia and Nick Castellanos that had plummets last year. So they are betting on 2 bounce backs from 2 old outfielders. And
currently on the same team. Likely fighting over the same position if they were on the same team.
Yes.
Right-handed platoon outfield.
Right. Additionally, then adding Chase DeLauder, who has been the picture of injury.
It's just like an interesting build. I think that
does not have, likely makes the team out of spring training just because, like, what else is Cleveland doing? But that's not even a guarantee.
Yeah, this is like a very different build.
And then adds a Chandler Simpson, who I'm going to tell you out there, I don't think you should draft Chandler Simpson once. This is Estuary Ruiz all over again. This guy has, he at least can hit for average, but I don't know. I do not like these profiles of guys that are speed only late in the draft. That you're drafting him because you want the 80 stolen base season, and I just don't think it happens often enough when the rest of the player isn't that great.
An 80 stolen base season isn't even that crazy.
It's crazy, but
like for this type of scoring, it's not that crazy.
Yeah. All right, I went Stell Stewart there as an infielder because at this point, ADP doesn't matter. So he's my 6th.
I was going to take him.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See, I'm reading your mind tonight. Yeah, so I took him there. Likely my last infielder with the Whit Machado start. I think good value on Matt Chapman. He can return a bunch of value to where he's going. So I am happy with my infield there. All right, you added Ivan Herrera. For those that do not know, Ivan Herrera is likely not just going to catch this year for St. Louis, and because he is probably
likely not going to catch. He's not a catcher. He's a DH. Last year he didn't really catch for them.
But they do plan. Yeah, he caught 14 games, 89 at DH, played left field for 4. So yeah. There's plenty of places that he could get playing time because he is the best St. Louis bat, just overall, and best in terms of underdog scoring.
Yeah, hits for power, which is what we want.
Okay, so you do go Parker Messick there. There was some discussion in the Discord server about that. Ooh, Rube Wall is a ball knower here, taking Robbie Snelling, with Miami moving some of their starters out. There is some hope that Snelling makes the rotation. I think from all indications, I think Thomas White is his name. Will get there first.
I watched him pitch in high school, so he's from like not too far from where I live right now, and
nice.
he's really good. Well, he looked really, really good in high school, obviously, but he's just their absolute steam.
Sure. I'm going to take a seventh outfielder in Willie Castro. I don't know. Maybe Willie Castro hits well in Colorado. You know, at this point, you're just preying on any outfielder that you're taking. This maybe should have been an 8-pitcher build, but yeah, I think I going back, I would probably take an 8th pitcher instead of him, but that's what we got. So you are at you're at now for your structure. Yeah, you're at 676, so you're likely targeting at a pitcher here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what we decide to do. This is the point where at pitcher I just tend to scatter shot. I don't feel super confident in any of these names. Obviously, we have a few names like Luis Morales from our friend TJ Stats. But I definitely take a shotgun approach here. This year, I do not have Seth Lugo from 2 years ago that I was taking all the time at the back here. I mean, Seth Lugo is here, but I am not doing that this year.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
He just was bad last year. This could be like recency bias, but I don't know. He's not exciting.
Yeah, he's not exciting. So I think that I could make the argument that the ballpark is not, but move like the outfield moving in is not good for him. But like the year before that, he got there on like insane volume.
Right.
It wasn't that he was just this like 170 innings, 230 strikeouts kind of guy. Like he was 200 innings, 180 strikeouts. But he pitched a ton.
But he did have a 3.0 ERA, so he was really effective, much more effective that year too. So it was the reduced volume last year. The strikeouts look similar. He had more of an issue with walks last year, it looks like, and then the ERA went up, but also the ERA. Well, this is kind of one of those kind of strange scenarios where the his expected ERA was 5.2 from his actual ERA of 4.15, but then his FIP and xFIP go in the opposite direction, which is I don't really know what to do with that, but still his xFIP was a 4.5, so it's not a guy that's exciting, and it requires volume. All right, let's do it. Let's take our old pal Bryce Miller as my final pitcher here. I don't love him. Like I said, I don't love anybody here, but we're going to take him just because. So that leaves you with one more pitcher. Drew Rasmussen. Moving back.
I need to get more. I need to get more creative in this range of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
In
almost
terms
like
of all positions or pitcher specifically?
pitchers for sure, because I mean, I like draft so many pitchers in this range. It's just like the same list of names. I would also love to find more infielders to draft at this range. The problem is like a Sal Stewart in theory should be here based on his ADP, but
Right.
then things like this happen where he can go a round and a half before that. And then there's like a small list of infielders and there's like no list of outfielders that I want. So it's really hard, I feel like, to plan to do it, but I do need to. It's just I feel I don't want to get caught like in a bad position.
Yeah, I think here for me, I haven't taken him, but he's on my list of guys I want to take more of. Is Jonathan Aranda there up at the top? He did look. He was surprisingly good last year. He did have a breakout. I'm taking a ton of Miguel Vargas here. I'm still a believer there. Still projects well, despite maybe having some not great results. Jake Berger. I think if you want to dream on JJ Weatherholt getting a bunch of playing time in St. Louis, sure, does not project well in most systems. Obviously the youth question mark there, but yeah, Jake Berger. I think we'll keep talking about St. Louis players. I think Mason Wynn is also a sneaky guy who can easily get back to this 2024 point total. He's not going to do it with power. But I think he also has some speed upside that, on that young team, he could, if he is healthy and he is running and leading off, I don't hate him as a last infielder. Obviously, I don't usually like that profile earlier on, but here it's fine. But after that, yeah, it's pretty tough to find infielders. So that is interesting. Josh Young, I think, still, if you want to believe a little bit there, that is an interesting concept. That we say, oh, there's always infielders, but in actuality, this last round and below, it is kind of thin.
It's thin. You gotta like really dream on some of these names, and there is no outfielders. So it's like you are sitting here in this position where it's like pick an infielder or pick a pitcher. You got to set your build up for that, because I just don't see how you can make any of these outfielders work. People have been asking, or like, can we do a live draft? Can we do a live draft? The reason we did not do a live draft, if you look at this draft board, it is not the draft board you'd see in a live draft.
Yeah.
The odds of us seeing a 974 in a live draft are pretty low. Or that 11 slot, which didn't take an outfielder until round 7. So
this is a fun 4 though. Tatis, Arozarena, Trout, and Robert. That's kind of fun. I like that build. I don't necessarily like taking Trout or Robert, even now that he's a Met. But I see the vision here. I see the vision
too. Maybe just swap in like an outfielder for a pitcher.
Yeah.
Just one. But
yeah,
yeah, for sure. I wouldn't mind doing like a single stacking dingers live, but this will not turn into a live stream. Like,
yeah.
That's not the plan.
I mean, there's not a ton of places to see MLB drafts live and hang out. I've unfortunately haven't gotten the sheep seats going lately just due to time constraints. But that's never really been our goal. We don't here, we want to talk about strategies and talk to other people. And, the draft just kind of derails things from having the actual conversations that we want to have. So that's never been the goal. Nothing, no real reason to rule it out. But I mean, if we had all the time in the world, we'd do this recorded show and a weekly stream. But, that is not to be. So let us run down our teams. And do you want to do it? So you run down my team and then tear it apart, and then I'll run down yours and tear it apart. Or
Yeah,
complement it.
yeah. I mean, for sure. I'll I'll do I'll do that way. So you start off with Bobby Witt. When you can get off of structure with your first pick, you got to do it. So you started that way. And then if we're going to do this little roast, and then took Brent Rooker. I actually like Brent Rooker a lot. Definitely taking him at like peaks of what his cost is. I mean, we've seen him steadily rise. 2 years ago, he was like the late round darling. Last year, price rose and people were questioning, and now is even higher than that. Jackson Merrill's kind of solid pick. Definitely a down year, but I could see the upside. Stacked it up with Manny Machado in round 4. So you were, again, another pick off structure through 4 rounds, 2 infielders, 2 outfielders. But then you tried to fix that by double tapping Atlanta Braves outfielders with Profar and Michael Harris. Then you moved to Vinny P, round 7, continuing on your Kansas City build. At this point, you do have 3 infielders, 4 outfielders, no pitchers. So you pivot to pitching. Blake Snell, kind of like Blake Snell here. We know the Dodgers mess around with innings, but he is a premium pitcher, so some good value there. Went with the opposite version of that and said, Sonny Gray, I need those innings. And you kind of a good pairing right there. But then you're like, what I really want to do is get back off structure. So you draft 2 more infielders, a catcher, and an infielder who is definitely on the back half of his career in Matt Chapman. Paired him up with Jung Ho No Power Lee.
Here's the fire. The roast is coming now.
Yeah, and then TJ Friedel's kind of is there to help wrap up your outfield, even though you do draft 1 more later. And then because you had draft only 2 pitchers at this point, it's just a stream of pitching in the range that we think is the ugliest to draft pitching. So love that. I'm not even going to attempt to say Ranger Suarez in the way that you did. Zach Gallen, Smith, and Kelly. Then you drafted Sal Stewart in round 18. If you're interested in why he drafted Sal Stewart, go check out the Substack. Recent article written about that was great. My new contributor Paul. Then you wrapped it up with a piece of Colorado and Bryce Miller, one of our favorite picks from last year. So I actually do kind of like the draft, even though it was a little different than I would be doing myself typically.
Yeah, I wish I had Castro as just another arm, and it was an 8.66, but that is not how it ended up. All right, let's go here. Billy Jones, NFL. Aaron Judge, can't go wrong. Roman Anthony, Wyatt Langford, Brandon Nimmo for the 4 outfield start. Wyatt Langford, you got 2 upside. I got no roast here. You got a boring pick. You have Judge. You got 2 upside outfielders, and you got Brandon Nimmo to maybe backfill some of the accumulation if Roman Anthony has a down adjustment period or whatever. And then you go with an kind of an under the radar infielder, not too under the radar. He is going at 50. Like, people know that Zach Neto had an excellent season last year. But yeah, then Cease, Peralta, you get your guy Marcy and Kyle Bradish. Trent. This is where I think it starts going off the rails. I'm on board up to here, and then I think. This is tough, right? Trent Grisham has not been great. Last year he hit a ton of home runs, and because of the defensive failures of Jason Dominguez, he just kind of had every opportunity to play the outfield. And you get so Trent Grisham, he had a career year and also benefited from the downfall of another person. So I think I I I do not feel comfortable with the Trent Grisham Jason Dominguez situation on either side of it right now. Like to me, I almost want to just go lean into the youth and hope that Dominguez figures something out defensively. But yeah, it is interesting. Pablo Lopez is great. Yeah, this Cease, Peralta, Bradish, Lopez. I love that core four on your staff. All right, but then we start reaching. Then we start reaching the question mark. So you've gotten to this point, and you need some infielders, right? So you took two guys that have incredible bust opportunity because of their strikeout rates. Ezekiel Tovar, who does not strike out, but he also does not walk. The profile is ridiculous on Tovar. He just puts the ball in play, but not great contact. So it's maybe I'm saying that wrong. He might strike out a lot too. Does he? I got that. No, not too bad. 25 last year. Actually kind of good last year, but he had some injury stuff. But yeah, a negative 10 offensive WAR player last year is you're trying to solidify your infield here with a negative 10 offensive WAR player. And then Brandon Lau, just, you're hoping he stays healthy for the first time in his life. And then Kyle Manzardo, who is fine, but really has not like broken out yet. Still young, but on a bad Cleveland offense. So it's really this infield section that I feel pretty scared of for you. Herrera, like I said, I think he's still a great option here. And then Messick and Rasmussen are fine to close out. Yeah, I almost want to, with this core four pitcher, to me, like a Baz or Rasmussen or one of these guys could have been another infielder. I know you said you didn't want to go 8 infielders, but I might.
I'm not opposed to the 8 infielder build, and if there's going to be a build that does it, it's this. I almost wish that it's tough because I kind of wish the Trent Grisham pick wasn't an outfielder or wasn't him. I wish I had taken an infielder at that point because I think that the names are a good bit better. I could have had a Chapman at that point, but and then kind of pivoted to someone later. But like I think that Chapman and Chapman and Friedel is better than Grisham and Murakami or Goodman, and that's what it would have been the flip of the two. But I don't know. I think I maybe also I overdrafted pitching a little bit, but I do love that 4 pitchers right there. Yeah. I think that there's real like in the playoffs I can go punch for punch. So yeah. But that was fun to hear.
All right. So that was it. That was our draft. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully we didn't get to all the questions on the list. So sorry if we didn't get to your question. We got to some of them. And there's less downtime than I had anticipated. But I guess that's not surprising that we can just talk for a while about any of these guys. So yeah, excellent time with you again, Billy, this week. Next week we should have our good friend Brendan Tuma on, and we're gonna see what's on his mind next week. He's got a lot of things that it's on his mind and that he's been writing about, so look forward to that. Again, if you are somehow this far and you're someone that thinks you're contributing to us by promising money on the Substack that is not on, come to the YouTube here, hit that membership. Once you get that membership, go on to the Discord server. If you need the link, hit me up in the DMs. It's also in the description of the video here. So yeah, and we've had a nice conversation in there the last week or so as people have made their way in there. So it's been fun to do. And yeah, so that's it for tonight. Billy, thank you again, and everybody get out there and the bunt too is already like smashing in terms of volume. So I know you're getting out there into the drafts, but yeah, let's do it. Let's keep filling.